Alright, next up in my video series here is Rakesh. I met in Kathmandu, Nepal. It was pouring cats and dogs, man. It was just storming. And I tucked under a temple just to get just a little break from the rain. And so I strike up a conversation, that's what I do. And this boy in college spoke perfect English, and he was on a bicycle. He was under there trying to stay dry as well. And after it was over, he said, "Let me show you around." So I'm thinking the whole time, "Oh boy, it's gonna want some money or something," but that wasn't the case at all. Um, he we walked all over the place. He showed me all these things I would have never seen on my own. There are these little passageways. Like, there's a building with a little passageway, and I didn't want to go in any of these because it looked like it was very private. But of course, he just took me right in, and he called them neighborhoods, communities. Um, there would be just a little courtyard with all these houses in there. And of course, the earthquake had devastated it. There were places that were being held up by boards and two by fours, people still living in them, which is crazy. It's like it could fall down at any minute, but that's their home. That's what they have. Um, so anyway, he showed me there was an empty lot. He said, "This is where the wooden temple used to be before the earthquake. This was their pride and joy. It was made out of one tree, and it, of course, it came all tumbling down in the earthquake." And we stopped place after place to get little bites to eat. And he kept saying, "No, don't buy me anything." I'm like, "Of course I'm gonna buy you something. It's 30 cents, a quarter, 20 cents, whatever it was." We would get little pieces of things that people were selling. It was just outstanding. And I think the two of us ate over 2 or 3 hours for $3 total, and we were just stuffed. $3 for both of us. I mean, just crazy. And then I mentioned, I said, "I would love some dessert." And he said, "I want to take you to this yogurt place." And I'm thinking, okay. I thought yogurt, like frozen yogurt, but it wasn't. It was in a glass and it was liquid. And it was so good. Um, and anyway, they had these little things in it, little crunchy things, and I'm eating them thinking, these crunchy things are the best. And anybody who knows me knows I don't eat three things. I don't eat beans, bananas, and raisins. And so after I eat it, and I'm like, "What were those crunchy things?" He goes, "Those are raisins." And I was like, "Oh, disgusting!" But I loved it. The raisins actually made it, but I wouldn't go eat a box of raisins. But in the yogurt, it worked out. Um, anyway, Rakesh, fantastic guy. Uh, he walked me all around. Like I said, we saw all kind of things. Uh, it was just cool. We went to get a little piece of ice cream, a little stick of ice cream. They freeze it on a little popsicle stick, and it's homemade. Um, anyway, we had all this delicious food, and we saw all these wonderful things. And he explained to me about the earthquake, about how it was before and how it is after, and life there in Nepal. Um, what I should say tonight, it doesn't affect him or not, but the people in Nepal were not very clean. He was, but again, I don't know if it's a result of the earthquake and not having facilities, but all the places I went, they were just filthy. You could see it on the clothes. They'd been wearing the same clothes for days. The You could smell them. You could see dirt on the bodies, and the streets were just a mess. I mean, they were just there was so much construction going on, and so much dust and dirt, and it rained all the time, and so you were just in mud. But anyway, I still love going to Nepal. I love seeing the sights, the holy men. If you see my pictures of the holy men, that's fantastic. That's some of my favorite pictures of all. Um, they're in their yellow and orange robes with the white faces and all the paint, all the hair pieces, and you can take a picture of it for 20 cents. Okay, I'm getting off course, but anyway, Nepal is great. But um, anyway, Rakesh was Just a sweet, sweet guy. He was riding his bike, and it was getting dark, and I was getting concerned. Well, first of all, he kept leaving his bike, and we would go in places. I'm like, you can't lock. You need to lock your bike because I don't have a lock. I'm like, well, what if somebody walks off with your bike? I'm gonna feel so bad because you're trying to help me, and you're gonna lose your bike. But every time he came back, his bike was always still there. Um, and and anyway, I'm like, it's getting dark. It's an hour ride for him to ride home, and he didn't have a flashlight or a bike light or anything. I kept wanting him to go, but he's like, no, no, I'm going to take you back to your hotel. So we didn't get back to my hotel till basically dark, 6:30, 6:45. He walks me all the way back. We say our goodbyes, and I'm trying to give him some money as a thank you, and he won't take it. And then he's like, don't you're embarrassing me because I'm doing this as a friend. I don't want you to cheapen this. So I'm like, I felt bad, but again, $5 or $10 for me would have been nothing, but for him, it could last. He could last a week on it. But he would not take any money. So just told him goodbye. We exchanged Facebook information. I went off to a couple of the cities, and I came back. Um, I came back to catch a flight out 3 or 4 days later, and he messaged me, and he came and met me at the hotel and actually brought me some of that yogurt that I loved, and we just sat in the lobby for 20 minutes and talked before I had to go off and catch my plane. But I mean, it's just amazing. He didn't have to do that, and he spent his money on a yogurt, which again, I know they don't have any money. Tried to pay him for the yogurt, wouldn't hear of it. It's just I have story after story after story of the kindness of strangers. People who have nothing are willing to give you whatever they have, and it's very touching. Yeah. So again, if I could help these people in any way, I would love to help them down the road if the situation allows. All right. Thanks.